Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's NBA slate on Monday, May the 8th. We do have two games tonight. We got Game 4 of the Knicks and Heat series, and we got Game 4 of the Lakers and Warriors series. So two-game slate. I got two player props I do like for tonight, two fantasy score props, and we got a play. We got a play from each game. So we're going to talk through these two plays. As always, we're going to share why I like them. Before we do get started though, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos and if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, if you have never checked out Prizepicks before, you can sign up for Prizepicks and use my promo code Noah. Look at the bottom of the screen. When you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. So be sure to check them out if you have not yet. Take a look at all the props they have available for tonight's NBA games. Take a look at some of the other props they offer besides NBA. They do have MLB, NHL, soccer, esports, tennis. They got a ton of different props on Prizepicks that you can, take a look at. You can mix and match sports on Prizepicks. You can make multi-sport entries. It's a lot of fun. You guys should definitely be playing over there. Get signed up. Use that code Noah when you do sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But yeah, I got two plays I like for this Monday slate, guys, so let's talk through them. We'll start off in this Knicks and Heat game. Got a fantasy score prop I'm liking in this one, and we're going to talk about Josh Hart's fantasy score. So this line is at 28.5 on Prizepicks, and I do like the over here. I do like Josh Hart to have more than 28.5 fantasy points tonight. And if you take a look at Josh Hart, just the last 5 games, I do kind of want to highlight these last 5 games because these are all the games that Josh Hart has started. I'm pretty sure like the first maybe 1 or 2 games in the playoffs, he was coming off the bench. They were starting Quentin Grimes ahead of Josh Hart. But obviously, we've seen that change now, and Josh Hart has been starting ahead of Grimes. And ever since Hart has been inserted into the starting lineup, he has been playing huge minutes. You look over this 5-game stretch as a starter, 40, 47, 43, 32, and 38 minutes. Last game, he did get subbed out a little bit early because that game was a blowout. And then the game before that, I believe, was also a blowout when he played 33 minutes. Now, he still managed to have a really big game, even in 33 minutes. But I'm pretty sure that game was a blowout, if I remember correctly. Let me see here. I'm pulling up the... Okay, that game wasn't a blowout. Hart just played 33 minutes, but he still had a really big game. Put up over 40 fantasy points. Normally, though, we can expect Hart to play like close to 40 minutes. And we saw last game, he got up to 38 minutes while getting subbed out a little bit early because of the blowout. Josh Hart, he's been great with this Knicks team. He's been a pretty good permanent producer. He's averaged close to a fantasy point per minute. He's always been a good permanent producer throughout his career when he was on the Blazers, when he was on the Lakers, and when he was on the Pelicans too. And now, obviously on the Knicks, he's been a solid permanent producer. He's averaged right around a fantasy point per minute with the Knicks this season. He's averaged 0.94 fantasy points per minute. And if we expect Hart to play 36, 37, 38 minutes, and we expect him to average close to a fantasy point per minute, this line of 28.5, it does feel a little bit too low here. Now, I know that we've seen a lot of blowouts in this series. I think last game, pretty sure, kind of was a blowout. I think I can't remember. There was another game in this series I believe was a blowout as well. But we can't really expect these games to be blowouts. I know there have been a lot of blowouts in the playoffs so far. But when you look at these games, I mean, the spreads in these games are like 3 points, 4 points, 5 points. I think the spread in this game right now is 4.5. So this is a game we should obviously expect to be competitive. And in competitive games, especially with the Knicks down in this series, they really need to win this one. They're going to lean on their main guys, and I expect Hart to play really big minutes here. And Josh Hart's a guy that I do like to watch play. He's a guy that can do everything when he's on the floor. He can knock down threes. He can rebound really well. He can get you some assists. He can get defensive stats too. He's not one of these guys that you need him to put up like 20 points to get you there. Like he can get you 6 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals, something like that. Like those are realistic stat lines for Josh Hart, just with the type of player he is. So he's a do-it-all guy, typically a good permanent producer. He's averaged around a fantasy point per minute. He should play big minutes here. He's been playing big minutes ever since he's been inserted into the starting lineup. So more than 28.5 fantasy points is the first play that I do like today. More than 28.5 fantasy points for Josh Hart. And then the other play that I like in this Lakers-Warriors game, this is another series where we've seen a lot of blowouts. I think so far 2 of the 3 games in this series have been blowouts. So this one's been a tough one to bet for player props. Obviously, if you're taking overs, it's really hard for overs to hit in the playoffs when you're not getting full minutes. And we know that, Obviously, when players aren't playing their full minutes, they're not going to usually hit their projections, especially for the teams that get blown out. Like we saw last game, the Warriors got blown out, and I'm pretty sure like every starter, like Draymond, Clay, Steph, Wiggins, like all those guys went under like all their lines because they're getting subbed out early. I think some of the Lakers guys still managed to hit some of their lines, but I do like an over in this game. I'm hoping this game stays competitive. And, again, I know we've seen a lot of blowouts so far in the playoffs, but this is not a game you can really expect to be a blowout. I mean, right now the spread is 2.5. Like, the sports books are expecting the Lakers to win this game by 2-3 points. Like, you can't expect this to be a 20, 30-point blowout. And if it is, oh, well, we'll probably take a loss. But I'm looking at Draymond Green's fantasy score prop. It's at 30.5 on Prizepicks. And this is a line that I definitely think is too low for Draymond. I feel like this is a little bit of an overreaction to last game. If you look at last game, not only was it a blowout, but Draymond was also in massive foul trouble. I think he had 5 fouls in the 23 minutes he played. Yeah, he had 5 fouls in 23 minutes. He was constantly getting subbed out in that game because of foul trouble. And then, he started the fourth quarter, played like 2 minutes in the fourth quarter before getting subbed out because, the Warriors were down by 30. So if this game is competitive, I do expect we'll get like 35, 36 minutes from Draymond. I know the last 2 games in the series have been blowouts, but if you look at game 1, Draymond played 34 minutes. You look in that Sacramento series in their competitive games, he played 38 minutes, 32 minutes, 31 minutes, 31. So normally we're going to get like low to mid 30s minutes from Draymond, maybe more. And Draymond, very similar to Josh Hart, he's a pretty decent per-minute producer, and he is a guy that can just do everything when he's on the floor. Not going to score a ton, but he'll definitely get some rebounds. He's going to get some assists. He can get those defensive stats as well. And if you do look at Draymond's fantasy production so far in the postseason, if you look at his game log so far in the playoffs, he's played 9 playoff games. He didn't play in one of those games against Sacramento, but in the 6 games he played against Sacramento, he went over this fantasy score line in 5 out of 6 games. There was only one game, I think it was game 1 of the series, or game 2 of the series. He played 31 minutes and had just 18 fantasy points, but every other game against Sacramento, he went over 30.5 fantasy score. And then so far against the Lakers, first 2 games in the series, he went over. Last game obviously went under, but again, I think he really, it was just a bad game from Draymond. Not only did he play poorly, but he was in foul trouble, and it was a blowout. Basically, everything went wrong for Draymond last game. I would expect a much better game from him here. I would expect the Warriors to play better tonight. I think this game will be competitive. If it is another blowout, then oh well. But these are not games you can expect to be blowouts. The spreads indicate these are going to be competitive games. And another thing that I want to mention is that we've seen the Warriors they've been starting Draymond at center lately, and they've moved Kevon Looney to the bench. And if you look at the rotations, the last 2 games with Looney on the bench, Looney and Draymond have basically just been they've been playing all the center minutes. So whenever Draymond subs out, Looney comes in, and then whenever Draymond goes back in, Looney comes out. So Draymond is pretty much playing all of his minutes as the center. He's not playing really any minutes, at least not right now. He's not really playing any minutes alongside Kevon Looney, and I think that's a good thing for Draymond's fantasy production, because when he's playing center, he's going to be able to be around the basket more. He's going to be able to grab more rebounds. And when he's out there as the center playing with Wiggins and Steph and Clay and pulling all these shooters, it's really easy for him to rack up assists when he's playing with all those shooters, just because he's the guy that can handle the ball. He can get guys open shots with how the Warriors just are constantly moving. And if Draymond's got the ball with all these shooters, I mean, he's usually going to be able to find the open guy and get assists. And then we know the defensive stats are always something that Draymond can get as well. Hopefully he avoids foul trouble here. There is a little bit of risk with him when it comes to foul trouble now that he is playing center and now that he is guarding Anthony Davis more. There's obviously foul trouble risk, but again, it's not like we can just expect Draymond to be in foul trouble every game. Last game obviously felt like an outlier. I would expect Draymond to get back to playing 30-plus minutes here. I would assume he averages around a fantasy point per minute, if not more than that. And again, 30.5 fantasy score. This is a line that Draymond has gone over in 7 out of 9 playoff games so far this season. Last game, massive blowout, foul trouble, played like crap. I mean, everything went wrong for him. So I'm expecting Draymond to bounce back here. I do like him to go over 30.5 fantasy score. And these are the 2 picks that I do like for this Monday slate, guys. Let's hopefully start off the week on a good note. Make a little bit of cash today. These are 2 picks I'm liking, taking a look at the board right now when I'm recording this video. But I will be sharing more plays for today over on Patreon. I'll give out probably 1 more NBA play, maybe 2 more NBA plays, depending on what's available. But I'll also be taking a look at the MLB board, see if I can find any other MLB plays. I usually do share a couple MLB plays over on Patreon as well. So if you guys want to check that out, it's all linked down below in the description. You can get access to all my additional Prizepicks plays, get access to our Discord chat. That's all available for Patreon members. But appreciate you guys watching the video. As always, make sure you hit that like button down below if you guys did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Also, go check out Prizepicks. If you're not signed up for Prizepicks yet, you can sign up. You can use my promo code Noah. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching the video, supporting the content as always. Let's try and win some money tonight, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.